This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Retromania!
Welcome to the Nerd Corporation.
What up, everybody? It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
I was not prepared.
I know. I didn't know it was even Thursday.
It's podcast. It's fucking podcasting. It's podcast day. Welcome to episode 86.
It's podcast day.
Yes. Thanks. Welcome to episode 86. Retromania 8. Beetlejuice.
Shit, you said it 3 times.
Yeah, he's coming.
Great.
Or if you want to be that guy, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. We're going to be talking about the Tim Burton movie, Beetlejuice. Movie was made in the 80s, I think. 82, yeah, and it was Tim Burton's third film. So we're going to go ahead and regale you with our memories. And Cole, this was the first time you saw it, right? So we're going to get your impressions. But first, let's get on with the nerd news.
So, my one that I'm kind of excited to talk about is Big Daddy Phil comes out, tells us what's in the Xbox One X, and I got the biggest geek boner.
Really?
12 teraflops.
Of what?
So to put that into perspective, GPU is like speed, your processor and your graphics card, or power, I should say. Teraflops is speed, and to put it into perspective, that this console is going to be faster than the highest top of the line graphics card out right now, which is the GTX 2080 Super Ti, I think.
Okay.
Isn't Super and Ti two different things?
Well, it's the 2080 Super.
It's the 2080 Ti, which alone is like what, $1,600? Just off of my
that's the best graphics card for a PC you can buy right now.
It's fucking insane.
Have they announced a price yet?
No.
Yeah, it seems pretty crazy powerful. My only thing is that I hope that this is a little bit more. There's more to this, because it's cool that you got a super crazy console, but I mean, it still is an Xbox, and not only that, like the speed is cool and all, but if you don't have anything to play it on, that's why I hate hearing about this shit. Like, it's always cool to see like the tech that goes into these things, because I'm a huge nerd that too.
Yeah, but are you gonna do anything that actually lives up to that potential?
Takes advantage of all of those features.
I was surprised to see
unless they can make it actually play PC games.
Well, I'm interested to see how much they're gonna sell this thing for, because if it's doing that, then
what's that?
Another cool couple of tidbits that I read on that Xbox front is, I think if you buy Cyberpunk and Halo Infinite on Xbox One, when the X comes out, you get those versions for free.
Yeah, I did hear about Cyberpunk. I think is Infinite going to be a one game?
Yeah.
It has to be,
Yeah.
Because they said that all of it's going to play on the same consoles.
I even read that I think Siege is coming on PS5 when PS5 drops too. On top of the new one.
We kind of already know what the price of the PS5 is, because there was something that came out that said it was about $470.
I read $450, but
I heard that they weren't going to come out with a price point until Xbox did.
I heard it was going to be $350.
$350.
That's a good number. But no, I I don't think it'll be. I think they said something about how that's how much it costs to produce it is $450
per unit.
And I think they're gonna, because they didn't. They definitely did sell at a profit with the PS4, but they were only making a profit of like $15-$20 per console. So they were raking in some serious fucking cash when the PS4 came out. So I'm thinking if it costs $450, then they're gonna try and get $500 off of it, which I really don't think is that crazy of a price point considering what we're getting into it.
It's one of those price points where it's like, that's kind of steep, but I'm still going to pay for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those
That's the
things...
very tip. You don't want to... I mean, you don't want to pay any more.
You don't want to go balls deep.
Yeah. And
you just want to do the tip.
Yeah, just the tip.
That's
just
why...
to see how it feels.
Yeah.
Just for a minute.
I can't see Xbox going more than $500, man, because why?
Yeah.
You can get a PC for like, a little bit more than that runs games at like what? Like, more than 60 frames per second. It's not going to be 1080p or 4K.
If you go too much more than that, that's dangerous territory.
Yeah, I paid like $649 or like $699 for my PC, and I've never not been able to run a game on that.
Right.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of looking into buying a PC, and like I've been like cherry picking different parts and stuff that I want to do in it. God damn, that shit's expensive.
That's why
no fucking reason at all.
It can sometimes be a little bit more to build one, because mine was pre-built.
Yeah,
but I don't have one of those crazy towers or anything like that. Like the big ones that are like $400 for a single tower.
Have like fucking spray bottles that activate on command or some shit.
Oh, you're talking about liquid coolant. I want liquid coolant in my pants, bro.
I got a guy at work that's really pushing me to like, oh yeah, let's do it. Let's get all the parts and put it together. It's like adult Legos, and I'm like, all right.
Legos.
Like, okay.
You mean like Legos?
Yeah.
I can't see Xbox even trying. I feel like that's like suicide out the gate. Is like you can't expect people to pay more, because that's one of the whole appeals of console gaming is that it's way cheaper than PC gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So like why, I don't know. You're getting into PC territory if you want people to pay more than $500. I feel like that's because then you got to worry about games. You got to worry about like other things. People are going to buy like new controllers and such. The release of a new console is a super exciting time, and most people can handle that price. But if you're over $500, no fucking way.
Yeah, I don't think
fucking way.
I don't think it'll. Sonic the Hedgehog is the highest grossing video game movie of all time.
Who's seen it here? I've seen it.
Yep. Derek and I have seen
You've seen it. You haven't seen it?
He doesn't.
I mean, like, if somebody says, "Hey, do you want to go see this?" I'll say, "Okay, yeah, sure," but I don't. I don't have an active interest to be like, I'm gonna plan a Sonic the Movie night. Like I just don't. It's not on my agenda.
It was great, dude.
It was really well done.
It was a lot of fun.
It was way fun. There were some really cool little fan service moments. It was really good.
It was great.
The only thing that I find weird though is that like on the trailers or I guess on the posters and everything, they're crediting James. Is it James Marsden?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Jim Carrey. But it's like, yo, where's Ben Schwartz's name? Like he's the voice of Sonic.
The reason why, because
he's the worst.
No, it's they said because he's a supporting character.
Mm-hmm.
He's a supporting character that the movie is about.
Yeah, he's the name of the fucking character.
Yeah, and
it's a weird pick.
He was on a podcast not too recently, and he when asked about it, he was like, "My name is on a movie poster." So he seemed a little upset.
I would be. I mean,
why can't you find a fucking change the format of your poster and add the guy's fucking name? It doesn't make any sense.
If anything, Marston's a supporting character.
For real? No, yeah, I agree. Like,
or Jim Carrey.
If your titular character is the one who's quote unquote supporting, I think you're misunderstanding what your movie's about.
Yeah. Oh my god, they had a Fast and Furious reference.
Fuck.
It was so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was
the
so
best.
awesome.
It was the fucking best.
I
looked over at Derek and I was like,
You sounded like a kid, like trying to tell their parents about something that you're excited about, but they just don't give a fuck.
They're like, uh-huh.
Like, it was
Yeah,
awesome,
oh, that's
and
great,
they
honey.
said this, and
I fucking hate Sonic, but I feel like I have an obligation to go and see this movie
Well, I
because
mean-
of the redesign.
well,
Yeah.
there was this meme that's like, it's like, y'all motherfuckers better go see Sonic because we done cyberbullied an entire studio.
and people are proud of that
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I just feel like, you know, and not only that, it being attached to, you know, video game movies, we still haven't seen Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
So-
I haven't either.
So I'm not
I
gonna
thought it
lie,
was-
by the way, I really want the studio to actually put out the original version,
and add it
just
to
to
the...
buy or rent or
Yeah.
you know, just as a whole DVD of DVD extra.
Yeah.
You know, just like I really want to see that.
It was such a weird
Director's
fucking
cut.
pick.
Yeah, exactly.
What a weird fucking choice.
He
to
had
make him
fingernails.
look that-
Why did he have fingernails?
One
He's
is-
And
wearing
his eyes-
gloves anyways?
His eye,
Well, like on
He-
the original, it was he had white fur. It wasn't
Oh, I
gloves.
didn't
And his
notice that.
weird fucking calf muscles. Like, it was
And they made
so
him
weird.
They legit
and his
like
feet
if you
were super,
look
super
at
small.
the kid from
Yeah.
Jumanji when he becomes a monkey, like he legit looks like that,
Exactly,
and it's
dude,
freaky as
yeah.
fuck.
His eyes looked like he was
Holy
just
fuck.
wearing goggles.
He was overly humanized, and it was just really creepy.
It's like, this thing is, well, I mean, and if you want to go down that route of introducing Sonic, something that's not real, and put him, you know, as like a CGI creature in real life circumstances, I mean, that's gonna come off as like Eldritchian. Like, it feels
Yeah.
fucked up. Like, why would he be in this world at all? And it, I guess, just the redesign makes that a little bit more palatable.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know,
It was good. It was really
I-
Eldritch horror.
I
Known
haven't-
as Sonic.
I haven't hit Brian up. I haven't talked to Brian. In
Well,
so
Brian
fucking
marked out hard for this movie.
Oh, he did.
I know he did.
He did. Yeah.
And I'm hoping it made him happy. It sounds like it did.
Yeah, he says he loved it.
Yeah.
You know, and God help those Sonic fans, man, because the last
They
good
don't
thing
have
that
much to go on.
The last good thing that happened to Sonic was him getting put into Smash, and that was like what, fucking forever ago.
So I have a bit of nerd news. We had a Animal Crossing Nintendo Direct this last weekend, and they pretty much confirmed just about everything fans were hoping for, except at the end of the Direct, they had a like frequently asked questions segment, and they said, "Will there be cloud saves?" No. And got everyone's hopes up. And
They're not
so,
bringing cloud saves to a 2020 video.
Wow.
Like yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But they are, isn't it that they're allowing it once? They're allowing one time. So if you fuck up and your Switch breaks or it bricks or something, they'll allow one time, and it's like, why only one?
Isn't
So
time?
they
isn't
said-
there a thing where you can't, like, if you have a Switch and a Switch Lite, you can't play the same game on two different
So
switches?
with this one, yeah, and so another controversy is people with families who just have one Switch, they only get one specific island, and
Yeah.
they all have to like cohabitate on this island. So it's basically a shared save file.
What the
Yeah,
hell?
and so yeah, a lot of people are really upset about that, and a lot of people, because you know, I fall under this category because I really want to buy the newly announced Coral Switch Lite, and I would like to play on both my Switches, but I'm going to have two different save files on these two different things because there's no cloud saves available. But so what they said was, at launch, we're not offering cloud saves, but in the case of broken or lost consoles, we're going to figure something out for you guys.
People are just going to say they broke their console or lost it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there a way that maybe you can like save it to your SD card?
I'm not
I think
sure.
So.
It reminds
know.
me of when because before I got my Xbox, I was playing Game Pass on PC. That's where I started playing the Outer Worlds. Mm-hmm. And I got my Xbox, and I'm like, all right, I can play this, like, just, you know, in my bed on my TV.
I need to get back to that game.
And come to find out that that's not a Play Anywhere game.
Oh, really?
So I had to start over on
fuck?
console.
That's how it was with Banner Saga. When I started the first Banner Saga, I started it on my console, and then when I went to work, I was like, oh, I'll just play it on my PC. And I had to start all over.
No, you won't.
Yeah. Like, I guess not.
Yeah.
So, apparently Baldur's Gate 3 will launch in Steam Early Access.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
so hyped.
And it's coming later this year, according to a Hasbro representative who was speaking at Toy Fair event. So, let's see. I think that's really all they said, actually.
Dude, speaking of D&D, the Black Dahlia Murders new album that they're releasing comes with an official Dungeons & Dragons expansion.
Are you serious?
That's how cool they are.
That's fuck,
Yeah,
dude.
and I'm like, I need to play this.
I haven't listened to that band in forever, dude. Attack of the Coronavirus continues. We got
Thanks to Eddie's wife.
Yeah.
That's her name.
God damn it.
Anyway, go along with Wife Virus.
White virus.
The monkey virus.
Kind of fucked a lot of people out of playing the demo for not only Final Fantasy VII, but a revised demo of The Last of Us Part 2, which has not been publicly available or it has been available to the public, which I think is wild because they made this big ass announcement saying, hey, we're going to be playable to the public at PAX East. All you got to do is just get a ticket and come see us. And then it seemed like real quickly after that, they put out another message saying, hey, our bosses don't want us to go because of the coronavirus.
Sorry.
You guys should know how to deal with strains and viruses, and you've been doing that
For a while,
for a long time, yeah.
It sounds like this is going to be a little bit more of a problem than people thought, because there's a lot of shit getting canceled or outright delayed because of this thing. I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to get your consoles delayed because of this, because everything's being made in China. Ugh.
Well,
I mean, Switches are already being delayed right now.
Because my buddy Neil has been kind of following it just because he thinks it's interesting. And did you read about how China built a hospital in like 10 days?
Yeah.
Wow.
10 days.
Well, there's fucking 7 billion of them there, so I hope that they
there was an aerial picture of the site, and there was like 50 backhoes out there just digging.
Yeah. Well, maybe if they'd stop eating fucking bat soup, it'd be alright. We could fix this thing a little bit faster.
You know what they call bats? Chicken of the cave.
Fuck, I've seen some...
Chicken of the night.
I've seen some fucking horrifying pictures of delicacies, or considered, what they consider delicacies.
Yeah,
and it's God left us a long time ago, bro.
No, it's been crazy. I just wanted to... It's mostly just my own personal, first thought review of Dreams.
Yes, I want to hear what you say about Dreams.
So I picked it up day one, or Weird Sense picked it up for me, and holy shit, this game is daunting.
Yeah,
it is,
to say the least.
It is daunting.
You saw that video that somebody made an entire Spyro level in that game, right?
Yeah. No, they've made a Spyro level. They've made a Crash level. There's this one game that I started playing that I really like, and it's called Ladybug's something adventure or whatever.
Okay.
And you're this little ladybug who's lost their wings, and you have to go find them.
Okay.
But they have like little Sonic spin moves and slam moves. It plays so well.
Yo, I have seen. If you see Donkey's newest video, he found a legit Sonic level. And it looks better than the Sonic games that are coming out right now. It's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, dude. There's a Fallout 4 level.
Yeah.
And
can you make first person shooters?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. There's
somebody should make some actually good Fallout 76 shit.
Right? Like a legit.
Like we did it and we did it better.
They'll probably just make it the same, and
I know.
but it'll be better because it's in Dreams. But I mean, all I've been doing since I got the game, and the game came out like 2 weeks ago on a Thursday. All I've been doing is running through tutorials.
Okay.
How to do so many things, how to run, because they use like literal logic. So you take these little microchips and you move them and you like connect them together to make a counter, or to add a score, or to make it add. I was so excited when I figured out how to make rain.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking wild. Like, you just take a little strip of something and then you animate it, and then there's this like tool that like expands it and multiplies it.
Yeah.
And then you can choose like how fast the rain falls and stuff like that.
Really?
It's so wild. I'm playing like all these games on them that's like some people make like short movies. Like, someone made a really crude Murray Show clip.
I saw that.
From the Joker, and someone made...
I saw that too.
Someone made the very beginning to BioShock Infinite.
Uh-huh.
I think I showed you guys that one too.
Yeah, you did.
And then there's one where it's the entire first 15 minutes of A New Hope.
Oh, wow.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's so
Jesus.
fucking cool.
Like, this game legitimately is going to make everything...
Well, and this game is going to live and die by its community.
Mm-hmm.
Which is...
And to know that it's super strong out the gate is really promising.
And it's such a non-toxic environment, too.
Yeah.
Like, you can...
Not
like
right now.
Well, now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you go in there and people leave comments on your video like, dude, this is super rad, dude, this is cool, or like if they ask to leave feedback, they'll be like, if I were you, I would do this, that, and the other. Like, they leave great constructive criticism.
Yeah, I think it won't be too long before you'll get, you should kill yourself.
Yeah, right? Like, it'll be like, well,
You
this
should
is
make
whack.
a video of you killing yourself in the game, and then I'll comment and like it.
Yeah. I'll even follow it.
How many creations have you come across that have a PP going into a vagina?
I have not come across any XXX.
Really? Because
I'm ashamed.
the day that the level maker for Smash Ultimate, there was so much.
Really?
Oh,
You know what
God,
somebody
dude.
should do in Dreams is remake the what is it, the coffee code from San Andreas.
Oh, hot coffee. Somebody already did for Red Dead 2.
Really?
Yeah, they made a mod and they got a cease and desist letter from it. Yeah, it was a big fucking deal.
Speaking
dude.
of legality stuff, when you mentioned Fallout, a thought popped into my head. So there's a team called Capital Wasteland, and they have been working on, since March of 2017,
That's right,
the
yeah.
Fallout 3 remake and the Fallout 4 mod. They had to, in 2018, they had to stop because of obviously legal concerns. They couldn't use any of the sound files.
Fuck you, Tom.
So they are going to record the 45,000 lines of the in-game script with new voices themselves.
That's
Wow.
fucking rad, dude. Hell yeah.
well, and
Yeah, that's cool.
And this
Didn't,
isn't a new game. This is just as a Fallout 4 mod.
Yeah.
Did you hear about all of the the cheat exploiting people that went in and to Fallout 76, and they would try to break the game and then send Fallout or send Bethesda like, hey, here's the problems, here's what's going on, yada yada yada, and like they kept
Like, we know. Like,
well, no, they kept banning them. They were like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. Thanks for letting us know, but since you're cheating, ban.
That's
Ban.
crazy.
And they're like, we're just trying to fucking help you.
The most impressive thing that I've seen in Dreams that I haven't played that I want to play is that they've created Silent Hills.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of love for what people are doing on there.
They created an entire PT level, like the whole level, but then they created the Norman Reedus Silent Hills game.
So
Really?
like you just like in these levels that people create, you just go through and play the game, right?
yeah, you
What
can just
they
go in,
have created.
it's a lot like Mario Maker, but like not
like
Mario Maker.
super expansive. Yeah, you just run in there. You can play the games. There are like short movies, there are sets, music videos.
I want to see somebody like do like a playable Smash battle.
That would
There
be
was
rad.
one, I saw one in Donkey's video, they have a Smash, yeah.
So, if you haven't played Dreams and creating is kind of your thing, you should probably check
It's only
it out.
$40.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
only
even a full
$40.
price game.
I feel like these kind of things are all being made so that like the game developers can then turn around and be like, "Hey, you're pretty good at this. You wanna come join us?"
And the cool thing is that they have options for you to support the creators.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
So like
that's way cool.
Yeah, you can like throw money at them so they can stay
That is
home
fucking cool.
and just create.
I mean, we are talking about the original developers of Little Big
Yeah.
Planet.
Yeah.
Which was one of the biggest, like, user-created community things, like, in the early PS3 era. Which is... And they've always been super positive in the way that they go about implementing features and stuff to keep the community going. So it doesn't really surprise me that they're out the gate. They're super supportive.
Yeah.
And now, on to the subject of the hour, but before we get there, we just wanted to let you know that if you wanted to advertise your store, your shop, your Etsy shop, small business, anything you wanted to, we will do that for you.
If you want to sell, I don't know, reverse meat tenderizers,
yeah.
If you want to advertise the size of your penis.
please tell me you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
You know, I saw that. I was laughing so hard, especially because of the spikes
Yeah.
around the base of it. I was like,
ooh.
damn.
Like that's
Somebody likes
that's
a
a
little
fun one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can advertise with us. Just email us at nerdcorppodcast@gmail.com and we will give you prices for different lengths of ads.
And if you have specific stuff you want us to say, you can write it down and we'll say it word for word.
Yep, we'll read your script aloud.
Depending on what the content.
Oh no, we'll read
I'll
it.
read anything.
We'll read it. As long as it's on the teleprompter, I'll read anything.
Okay. Here's my piece of paper. Derek has
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
has Lil PP and Big Brain Energy.
Okay.
Derek
Read
has little peepee and big brain energy.
I have to have Derek read it.
I told you I'd read anything.
But yeah, so if you want to advertise with us, nerdcorepodcast@gmail.com. So Beetlejuice, like we said, was made in 1982 by Tim Burton. It was his second or third film, and
it shows.
it shows.
It shows.
It definitely shows. I mean, you got the old school, set building where they build the set super small and they just kind of pan the camera around to do things. It starts with Adam and Barbara Maitland, who are played by Alec Baldwin.
Very young.
Very.
Like,
doesn't he look all fit and shit in that?
I
he's
remember
all
like
skinny?
watching and I remember seeing the credits because in the beginning of the film it does an intro as older films do, and
In that font.
in that
Yeah.
font, and I remember seeing Alec Baldwin. I was like, okay, that's cool, Alec Baldwin. And then I was like, I wonder if he's just like a fucking weird
Voice.
Voice or something. And then we kept watching, and I was like, what the fuck?
He's
is that
like, is that Alec Baldwin? And I was like, oh, maybe.
come a long way from the fucking, or what is he doing now? The
Rock
Donald Trump
or-
thing that
Yes.
he's doing on Salt.
SNL.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of cool. It was kind
Yeah.
of cool to see him super fucking young in this.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And Gina Davis,
And
right?
Gina Davis, yeah.
Good old
We
Gina
have
Davis.
Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis playing Adam and Barbara Maitland. They're, just typical small town folk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They
Salt of the
Quaint.
earth.
Yeah.
Just a
quaint.
couple of folk.
They own a
Like a ranch house, but like kind of Victorian at the same
But
time.
if
it's
I
nice 'cause
remember
it's on a
right,
hill.
is not fully built.
No, it's built.
Okay, because when I remember seeing like, I don't know if I haven't seen this since I was like a kid, but I just remember like a weird random wall or something like that.
Well, yeah, that was when the other family came in and she wanted to renovate everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was built, but after that, okay.
And so, they're planning on taking a vacation, and they decide not to go anywhere. They decide to just stay home. Adam, he works with models and stuff, so he's building this entire model of the city that they're in Connecticut. They go to the general store that they own for just some supplies and things like that, and they come back and avoid hitting a little doggy, and they fall to their deaths pretty much over this bridge with a river.
Like you do.
Well, it's typical Tim
As
Burton.
one does.
Yeah. Give you something a little
Morbid.
Yeah.
They come back home and they realize that they've died,
And Helen Bonham Carter is in her living room.
right with Danny Elfman in just right behind. But, of course, the music was done by Danny Elfman. This is one of the first teamings that they did. But the movie just pretty much settles around them trying to figure out their how can I say?
And
Kind of their role after
yeah.
life
Well,
has ended.
they don't know at first.
Yeah, they don't realize
Right.
it at first, and that's when they start to piece things together. Like, hey, do you remember coming back here? Adam going out the door and jumping into the sandworm pit, Saturn, which is where they go when you leave the house.
Okay.
They go to Saturn, and that's where sandworms are, and
Fucking sandworms.
This movie holds a really special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I remember being a little kid, 4 or 5 years old, just watching the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Well, and the cartoon.
Yeah.
The cartoon was fucking amazing.
I think that's how I know about Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
The cartoon.
Yeah.
I remember segments of the movie because I remember watching it. I have my stepmother's mother is really into Tim Burton stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that being one of the ones that was being played frequently at her house.
Right.
And I can't help but feel like my dad or Danny, my stepmom, was like, "Hey, we don't want this playing anymore," because I was a gigantic pussy when I was a kid, and anything and everything would scare me. Seriously, we couldn't.
Put that into context, he's terrified of The Sixth Sense.
I plead the fifth on that one.
You plead the fifth on the sixth?
He goes around and checks that all the windows and doors.
I don't know what it was about that night, God damn it, but it scared there was something.
Is there ever one door that you just can't open?
Yeah, there was there was a fucking vibe in the air that night, and I just couldn't get over it. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what it was, but it so happened to be the night that we watched The Sixth Sense.
I'm sure the two aren't related.
No, I know. So she relentlessly makes fun of me to this day that I'm scared of The Sixth Sense.
It's one of my most favorite movies, and I watched it as a child.
Yeah, I don't know. I was super scaredy cat when I was a kid, and I couldn't even walk down the movie aisle at Blockbuster because I would come across a scary movie cover, movie cover, and I fucking couldn't sleep for the rest of that night. So
throwback to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say rest in peace, but fuck off.
Honorable mention to Blockbuster.
I got fired from there for stealing movies.
Why didn't you just rent them?
Didn't get a discount.
Because you didn't get to keep them if you
you didn't
rented
get to keep them.
God.
I wanted them,
That's
and so
hilarious.
I'd check them in and just take them.
I have a very fond memory of renting Majora's Mask from the Blockbuster several times.
That's where I first played Earthbound.
Oh yeah, right on.
The last game I remember getting, I was 18 years old, and the last game that I remember renting was Playboy the Mansion.
Oh,
Now, are we talking
That sounds
renting
like
or
18-year-old Eddie.
renting?
Either one. I mean, no, this was real renting because I'd already been fired
it's so
by that
fucking
time.
weird to think that we used to pay to rent a disc. But what was it? It was $7 for a week.
Oh, let's go a little bit further back and talk about that you could fucking rent consoles from Hastings.
Yeah, that's even weirder.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
They came in this big black CIA looking briefcase with the foam inside.
Yeah.
My
Just so weird to
family
think about.
didn't really do Blockbuster. We did Hollywood Video.
Ooh, Hollywood Video.
And
was a good one, too.
inside of the Fred Meyer here in town that is now a Smith's Marketplace, they had like a video shelf with a bunch of videos that you could rent from there too.
I remember when I was a kid too, you could rent like Super Nintendo games at fucking Albertsons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
Like
pretty
at the
cool.
grocery store.
Crazy times back in the 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember seeing different parts of Beetlejuice all the time, but like, and then I watch it today, and I'm like, I don't fucking remember any of this. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
I just remember what was his skeleton friend's name? Like Jacques or something like that. The French skeleton.
I think so.
And he was always like in weird, like
on the cartoon.
god awful CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Maitlands start to figure out that they're dead, and
who take it really well for
Yeah.
being dead.
There you go.
right, like,
All
like
right. Well,
I
shit.
figure if you find out you're dead, you're gonna flip out a little bit. But then
I mean,
again,
at
you're,
least for a little bit.
Well, and like, I think that they take it so well because they're like, oh, okay, we get to spend the afterlife together in
They
our
kind of
home.
seem a little dinky, like in the head.
Yeah.
They seem like, oh, well, whatever.
well, I mean, they're clueless small town folk. Just
yeah,
like
exactly.
the like epitomizing, clueless small town folk. And so
What you gonna do?
yeah, so they're trying to figure out what's going on and what's happening, and they end up going in to see their caseworker Juno, who just pretty much tells them like, yeah, you're dead, this is your handbook, and if don't you understand it, yeah, like, don't you understand it? And they're like, no, it reads like stereo instructions, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly.
And while
she puffs her cigarette.
Yeah,
through her
through
throat.
yeah.
I was gonna say she's way too old to be smoking a cigarette.
well, before that, a family starts to move in because their realtor, who was also a good friend of theirs, was always trying to get them to sell the house because it's just the
She
two
was a
of
little predatory.
Yeah.
And she and as soon as they died, she was like, yes!
Yeah.
Isn't it this? That's the same chick from Donnie Darko, isn't it? The realtor lady.
I don't remember who
It's,
the realtor lady was.
The lady that she is in Donnie Darko is. Thank you. It's the leader of the cheerleader. Or it's the fucking teacher. The teacher that she's teaching, like, I'll show you later. But it's the same fucking actor.
Irrelevant.
Erroneous.
Erroneous!
this is egregious,
Erroneous on both counts.
egregious.
God's sakes.
It turns out that Kevin McAllister's mom and Principal Rooney are moving in.
So that was one realization that I had when we were watching it the other day. Is I was like, oh, that's the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Rooney!
He actually got busted years ago for, like, fucking underage boys.
Ooh. Oh, no. Oh,
Yep.
no.
That's why he's all of a sudden disappeared.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But she was, what's her name?
He's
Catherine.
got that look.
Catherine O'Hare.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. God, I love her. She's so
she's
amazing.
good.
She is
I asked
phenomenal on Schitt's Creek.
Oh
I
God,
asked
everyone's
Cole-
phenomenal on Schitt's Creek.
I asked Cole
Just
who
cried
she
myself to sleep.
who she was, and he's like, "That's Winona Ryder," and I'm like, "No, it's fucking not. I know who Winona Ryder is."
I was just fucking
No,
with
you weren't.
I
You
was-
were so
I was
confident
just
about
fucking
it.
with you, though.
And I
knew
was
you were
like,
gonna
"No,
bring that
that's
up.
Winona Ryder."
Not yet.
right, and so this family begins to move in, and of course you've got your businessman father who just wants a place in the sticks to relax. You've got your eccentric artist mother who wants to stepmother, that's right,
Wants everything to be a fucking art exhibit.
yeah, and then you've got the angsty teen,
like anti-art.
yeah,
like-
listens to a lot of The Cure at that time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depeche Mode and like
Yep.
Okay,
She
but
wants
she
to-
is an absolute mood.
yeah.
She's like dark things and in darkness, and I'm so dark.
So this family comes in or whatever, and they make it their own home.
Really quickly, because time is different in the afterlife. So when the couple comes back, everything is changed.
Yes.
And it's quite the shock
Yeah, and so they've been trying to figure out how they're going to get them out. They use sheets. They try to
My God, I love that part.
Stereotypical ghosts.
They ruin the mother's like pristine what are they, like crazy expensive?
Yeah, they're
sheets?
like $300 sheets.
Well, yeah,
Her linens.
and the sort of the rub of this is that like the things that they do, they kind of make it seem like these would totally scare normal people, but the Dietzes are so oblivious to anything outside of their money, their art, like all that, all of the trappings of wealthy folk that they don't even notice. They're like, oh my God, there are holes in my sheets that are covering invisible
One of my
people.
favorite-
But that's not the important thing. It's the holes in the sheets.
Yeah.
Well,
One of my
and
favorite
it's-
lines when Lydia sees them with the sheets on, she's like, "Oh my God, are you guys gross under there?"
I love that.
Are you guys Night of the Living Dead
Yeah.
under there? And so they fail. And during this entire process, they come across Beetlejuice, and he is
Not in this movie nearly enough.
Well, I mean, exactly. He only gets like 15 minutes of
Well,
screen
and
time.
fun fact, after they did like a public screening, they got feedback from viewers, just like a small
Like a focus group.
Yeah, a focus group, and they were like, "No, we want to see more of him," and they ended up filming the epilogue, and it's just like an extra like 5 minutes, but yeah, people really wanted him.
All right, we'll give you 5 more minutes.
Right. So they're trying to figure it out. They go to the caseworker, and they even talk to the caseworker about it. Like, what about this guy, Beetlejuice, or whatever?
She's like, "You don't want him."
Yeah, he was.
She's like, "Don't say his name.
Yeah, he was my assistant.
He who shall not be named."
Right. He was my assistant. He just wanted to go doing his own thing, calling himself a bio-exorcist.
Yeah.
And after a while, they can't get these people out of the house, so they call on him. But they realize real quick that he's just a scumbag.
He's just a loose cannon. He's just gonna do whatever the fuck he wants.
He's just like I'll scare him. I'll do my thing.
So
hanging out in the dude's model whorehouse.
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions for
Love
you, Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
You being the Beetlejuice expert here. So why is it spelled Beetlejuice the way that it is in the book?
So I can answer that question,
Okay.
unless Eddie wants.
Well, no, by all means, because I'm my stupid brain is saying like, oh, okay, nobody wants to go see a video or a movie titled something like that. Why wouldn't they just name it Beetlejuice?
That's pretty much exactly what it is. So the spelling,
original title was Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that spelling is based off of a star in the Orion constellation.
Okay.
And
Michael Keaton was the star of the movie. So
well, and so in the movie, they often get his name wrong. And and they kind of played on that with the title.
I was gonna
and wanted
say,
it to be an easily read
maybe
title.
I think it was something to do with them just being the clueless folk, and they're like, Beetlejuice, like
Right. No, like the movie, they were gonna call him Beetlejuice. Like that's what it was.
Okay.
But Warner Brothers just became completely against that.
Okay.
And they wanted to call it House Ghosts.
Yeah.
House Ghosts.
because that's so much better.
Yeah. So they wanted to call it House Ghosts.
It's like a ghost in a house. He's like a house ghost.
Yeah. House Ghosts. And
Perfect.
and Tim Burton of course was completely against it. And he was even being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Well, we might as well just call it Scared Sheetless. And Warner Brothers was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
he
one.
was like, no, it's not.
He's like, no, I'm not gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna call it Beetlejuice, and then we're gonna call it done.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Okay.
And so instead of going back and recording like new papers that say Beetlejuice or the graphics that say Beetlejuice, they just kept it as Beetlejuice because you can still say it that way.
How married are you to Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Like,
And so my other question is why? So he's stuck, right? Like, what's his whole purpose? Because at the end of the movie, he's trying to marry, Winona Ryder. So why is he like stuck somewhere? And so now he's like, is he like trying to get in the world of the living?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he wants to be alive.
Okay.
He wants to be a real boy.
Yeah.
So,
He wants to low pan it.
I am enlightened.
And
But back to them
Deep cuts.
wanting to
deep
change
cuts.
the name. You know, this was his second movie just after Pee Wee Herman, so he didn't have a lot of good standing in the cinematic
Tim
community.
Burton made Pee Wee Herman.
yeah.
the first one, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
That is his first movie, and Beetlejuice.
Why do you
was-
think it has all of those weird creep ass tones like throughout the whole thing?
Fucking Pee Wee Herman.
Large Marge.
Large Marge.
But yeah, he wasn't like this well-respected actor yet, and so people thought that they could push him around. And you know, when he made this movie, when it was put out, he gained a lot of respect from people in that.
Okay. So the little agency that they're going to with the caseworkers and everything is kind of cool because their whole purpose is to scare people away, right? Like away from people's.
Well, they want.
It varies.
They're
from
kind.
dead
I
person
feel
to
like
dead
they're
person.
kind of there to, like,
Just help
usher
them
people
in
into
the
the
afterlife.
afterlife.
Yeah, like it to help them just kind of settle into their afterlife.
Yeah, that's why they give him the Book of the Dead, because that's like, here's your handbook.
And you know, in their specific case, they're dealing with. They want to get people out of their house that they own.
I really love the agency. I don't think that's its name, but
Reverse exorcism.
I really like it because this is, I feel like, where Tim Burton is the most Tim Burton-y in this entire movie is like the designs and the set pieces for all the dead people.
Yeah.
Like the one bitch that's cut in half and her legs.
By the way,
Yeah.
the legs are played by his girlfriend of Tim Burton's girlfriend at the time. So during the epilogue that they filmed after filming the whole movie, Michael Keaton is feeling up on Tim Burton's girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. I love the
Hey man, you wrote this in.
Yeah, I love the guy that's hanging and he's like on a pulley system, and so it just takes him wherever. And then my favorite is the guy that's been smashed, and so it's just like his face, and it's just like this.
Yeah,
like,
it's
large...
Flat Stanley.
Yeah, I love.
And then
that shit
of course,
so
one of the
much.
most iconic scenes is when he's in the waiting room and he's hitting on the legless girl. I think
At the end of the movie.
she like shrinks his head.
So it was.
that was
it
the
was
witch
a,
doctor.
That was the
Oh
witch
yeah,
doctor.
yeah. No, because he
stole his number.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
yep.
right. Yeah.
That's a great fucking part.
So, I mean,
Such a good part.
so they come back. Beetlejuice gets summoned by the Maitlands, and the famous Deo scene comes on.
Yes.
You know, and you know, at this time, Lydia's trying to tell them, like, look, there are ghosts here. Like, you guys got to believe me. And then, you know, later on, it's like, oh, there really are ghosts here. And what do rich folk do when they see an opportunity?
They want to capitalize on it.
Yeah. Like, we can make money off this shit.
Yeah, like, let's, you know, now you can bring in your big boss and show him what's up.
So I've been kind of trying to put it in my mind. So the big fat guy, like what is he in their family? I can't remember.
He's not a part of the family.
Well,
he's
It's
in
like
the
a
movie.
business.
Yeah, these are
partner
like
kinda.
investors, and
Okay.
because like they want.
Because that's
actually,
the whole point of the dinner.
Yeah, they actually want to in the the aspect of wanting to capitalize on this. They get a bunch of people together to go, okay, what can we do? Like, how can we get this ball rolling? How can we get people here and make money off of this?
I just remember him dumping out the ice and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he is what is the mom's name? I can't remember the mom's name.
I don't remember.
Well, anyway, he's the mom's consultant. He's Catherine
And
O'Hara's
kind of like he helps her do like the interior design.
Yeah.
When they buy the home.
So the Deo scene happens and it fails to get them to leave, and
Yeah, I think it's just like a parlor trick.
1988, by the way.
Not 82.
And then they can't do anything about it, so Beetlejuice comes in and really starts to scare the crap out of everybody.
With the snake.
Yeah, with like the snake on the railing and dropping people, and
Which another fun fact, that scene was shot before they had cast Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice.
Oh, wow.
So they ended up changing the face on the snake so they could see that it is
Right.
Michael Keaton.
Charles and Delia.
Delia,
yeah,
that was her name. Fun fact, also, Michael Keaton wasn't the first pick for Beetlejuice.
No.
It was Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, Sammy Davis Jr. was going to
What
be
a different
Beetlejuice,
movie.
and
Right.
he was gonna speak in like.
Come on, let me marry you.
No, he was
No. It was
like pidgin English.
Yeah.
Really?
Like old school, like New Orleans down south, like voodoo swamp.
Yeah.
Pidgin English. So imagine how much more different, right? Like you just would have seen it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I totally would see it that way.
But yeah, and so now they're scared. The Maitlands get called back to the agency, and they're like, "You
fucked up.
You fucked up." You know what I mean?
And you need to get rid of him now.
Because he like let it go, and then Barbara calls Beetlejuice, and he ends up back in the model. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, you weren't supposed to do
Isn't
that.
there a scene where he like crashes a car into a lamppost?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. I love that whole scene where he's just in the model and he's just fucking raging.
Yeah.
It's so great.
And then, so the agent, the caseworker, Juno, she creates Dante's Inferno, which is just like some whorehouse that she imagined. And she was like, the whorehouse is my idea to keep him busy. Like, you guys really need to
Figure this shit out.
Yeah, you need to get rid of the family and get the pictures that they had taken back.
And Otho had the handbook as well.
Yep.
And it was just it just becomes this like real fuck up, and that's when he starts to talk to Lydia, and Lydia's like, well, can I go see the Maitlands? Because
she's like, they're like my really only friends, so I want to be dead with them.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, I can do that, I can do that for you.
But
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Come on.
yeah. The only thing is I gotta go out there. I'm down here. And so, she summons Beetlejuice, and they're starting this whole marriage thing, and Otho's running this exorcism that he didn't even know he was running. He thought he was just summoning them, but in
which is a terrifying scene, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's the scariest scene in the whole.
It's so sad too. Like it really pulls at you,
Right. It because you're seeing them die, and you're seeing Lydia plead with Otho, like, please.
Oh yeah, when they get all
hurting them.
wrinkly.
Yeah. She's like, you're hurting them. Stop it. And
dude, the worst part of that is like when they like look at each other and like start
they
holding hands.
They look at each other just with these
sunken
the
eyes.
saddest eyes you've ever seen in your life.
Right.
Like it's just these puppy dog like.
It's because they know where they're going.
Yeah.
Because during their walk through the agency, they came across a door, and there was like, this is the lost souls room.
Yep.
This is for dead people who have been exorcised. Death for the dead. So they knew exactly where they were going. So they're like, all right, well, I love you, and this is how it ends.
We didn't mention how are we getting to the part where they transform? Is that later?
That was before.
Yes, that was before. That was when Juno was like, you got to fix this or you're going to fuck it up. And they what they do is they end up, like, she's like, well, I want to see how you're going to do it. And so, Adam,
they pull up their skin and
so she like
super cool.
stretches her face out
And
and
pulls
has
her
all
eye-
the teeth.
And her eyeballs are like on her tongue.
Yeah,
and
then,
like at the very back.
and
of
then
her
he
mouth.
like stretches his nose out.
And he
Pops his eyes out.
Well, he stretches his nose, and he puts his hand into his mouth and makes those like horns in the back of his head.
Yeah,
and then he takes his eyes out.
Puts him on his
Yeah.
fingers.
I've seen these designs everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And I just never knew what they were from. I always, for some reason, I thought they were from that Nickelodeon show Monsters.
Okay.
I don't know why.
It does look similar. Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember seeing like, and especially the wives monster face with the eyeballs inside the mouth. Yeah, I was like,
it's like the one guy that holds his eyes,
Yeah, exactly.
Crumb.
Yeah.
And so, the exorcism gets interrupted, and Beetlejuice is like, all right, well, we're going to get married, and it's just like them trying to figure out how to say Beetlejuice, and he's throwing, he's zipping Barbara's mouth.
Yeah,
closed.
And then he throws the
metal
steel plate over
Mm-hmm.
Lydia's mouth, right?
No, over Barbara's.
Oh, is it Barbara's?
Because she unzips and sees
that's
Beetlejuice
right.
the second time.
Yeah, and then he does that.
That's right.
Does the plate, and then he's trying to... And so Adam tries to say Beetlejuice, and he pops his teeth out.
Yeah.
And then he's going to say Beetlejuice again, but he starts tap dancing. That like cartoony tap dancing around the teeth type deal.
Yeah.
And, somehow, some way, when Beetlejuice makes them disappear, he sends Barbara to Saturn, and he sends Adam to the model.
Yeah.
And he very charmingly gets in the little model truck and drives off of the model, like the entire model as a whole.
Nice fucking model.
Yeah.
That's my favorite
Which
line.
is such a weird thing to have in a PG movie, but I guess
80s.
that Red Dawn hadn't come out yet to be the first PG-13 movie.
Yeah, no, because back then, as long as you weren't gratuitous with it, you could get away with a little bit of anything.
Yeah.
You could throw some titties in there. And
they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, at the end of it all, a sandworm comes in, which is the only flaw that I find in that movie, because if you're sent to Saturn, you're going hours when it was just a few minutes. Yeah. So for her to have found a sandworm and been like, come to reality and be like, have it eat Beetlejuice is the only thing that I could find that wasn't.
Well,
really
it's a witty callback, because before we even meet Beetlejuice, we get this little over the shoulder shot of him reading a newspaper talking about how sandworms is kind of doing his job for him, and he's basically saying damn sandworms. Yeah, and then after that, that's what takes him out. So
it's kind of nice too, because the sandworm is striped like he is too.
Yeah.
I think for me, when I was a kid, because I didn't go back and rewatch it because I'd already seen it. But for me, when I first saw it, I think the scariest part for me was the stair snake. When I was when I first saw the movie.
I loved the carnival part where he unrolls his arms. And, I love that whole fucking
for this
part.
Movie being back when it was, and given Tim Burton's style, it was a fucking morose and dark movie.
It really was.
They found, even by his standards.
Well, they found such a great balance between just darkness and sadness and death, and also with humor and
coping and comedy.
It's a really good blend.
Not 3 years later, or no, 2 years later, he comes out with Edward Scissorhands, which is so much more on one side of that spectrum.
It is.
And it still holds up today. Both of them do.
Yeah. Tim Burton definitely has a long style.
Long dick style.
He's the king of long style.
He is the king of long style.
The artist formerly known as
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Tim Skay Knucka Burton.
Tim Burton comes out.
Tim Skay. Red jumpsuit.
He had a great fight this last Friday.
He did. He had a good one. He had a good match. I know we just kind of smashed the whole of Beetlejuice into this little bit, but I mean the gist of it is
watch it, god damn it!
Yes,
exactly.
Please watch it.
If you haven't watched it, what are you even doing with your life?
Right.
I mean, seriously.
So Colt, for the first time.
So I actually also have a little confession to make. I am one fake ass Tim Burton fan because this was also my first time
Wow.
watching Beetlejuice.
Wow. So what did you guys think, though?
At least you've corrected the error of your ways.
I mean, I really like it.
It was just something that I never took the
You also lived a very sheltered life away from stuff like this.
Well, and I didn't watch a lot of his works until I was in my late teens because that stuff just wasn't allowed in my family home.
Beetlejuice till I was a man.
Yeah, I was already a man by the time I had seen Beetlejuice.
And it's crazy too, is because even though a lot of Tim Burton projects are kind of in the periphery of pop culture, everyone knows about it. Whether you've seen it or not, you know about it.
Well, and that was part of my reasoning for not watching it is everyone was saying you need to watch it, and I just being my stubborn teenage self, I just chose never to watch it.
So you were on the opposite side of Game of Thrones fans.
No.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, you gotta watch Game of Thrones, bro. Gotta watch it."
We watched it before it got super popular.
So
I'm just saying,
sure
everyone's telling you to watch Beetlejuice. Some Game of Thrones fans are telling people to watch Game of Thrones. That's
so
what I meant to say.
always had. I mean, I always had Game of Thrones in the back of my head, but of something this is something that we can maybe watch, but. The fact is that we have never really paid for cable, and even if we did, we never used it.
You don't have to now.
Exactly.
You can just steal.
I mean, but back when we got into it, that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah,
their streaming service
but
wasn't.
They didn't have HBO.
I was saying. Everyone's telling her to watch Beetlejuice.
I know where you're coming from.
Okay, yeah,
I'm just explaining. I had a friend who was major into Game of Thrones, and he's like, "Yeah, we have all the digital stuff. The first 3 seasons." He's like, "We got the digital playback of all the first 3 seasons on Amazon." So just go watch it. And that's when, and of course it was still this global fucking phenomenon than it was back then, but it wasn't nearly at the peak of where it was at, because season 3 is the Red Wedding, and that's when the show really gained its notoriety of being this, this culture.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what did you guys think?
My problem with Tim Burton is I just always remember seeing these fucking chicks in high school that were so obsessed, and it's funny because I
was one of them.
I'm fucking dating one of them. It's funny.
I was the emo girlfriend you all wanted.
I hated.
Wanted. Still want one of those.
The Nightmare Before Christmas is a great movie. It really is.
So hang on.
I just can't stand all the fucking
singing. I know you don't.
No. You know me. I'm a musical guy. I love musicals. I can't stand it just
the
was
tropes.
No. Well, yeah, them too.
It was the fan base.
I can't stand the cringy nature, but behind the love for Jack Skellington and stuff like that.
Everybody wants to do Jack and Sally.
And look, and I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan, and there's 2 dedicated Halloween Town levels in there, and I love those. I just can't really stand it. It has nothing to do with the aesthetic, the story, or nothing. It was pretty much, like Eddie said, just the fandom. I just found it incredibly annoying, so I just would stay away from most of Tim Burton's movies because I'm just this isn't my aesthetic. This isn't what I'm going for. I don't really dig as I've gone older, I've grown to appreciate it, but I don't really dig the morose nature of almost everything that he does. But now that I'm older and I'm not fucking a stupid teenager, I like that shit. You know what I mean?
Well, and so that was one cool thing about watching Beetlejuice as an adult and had already watched all of Tim Burton's other works is, this was his second film, but there were a lot of Easter eggs for future films that he worked on. There is a depiction of Jack Skellington in that movie. There are quite a few Batman logos in there, which happened to be his next film with Michael Keaton.
We didn't even talk about fucking the new bat suit.
We haven't.
All the pictures of the new bat suit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just super interesting to see
for it
all
to
of
be
that.
your second.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I mean, at least as far as major releases, because he had made several others or been involved in several others.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Tim Burton is like, he is to me anyway, he is the Quentin Tarantino
absolutely.
of teen angst fan service.
Oh yeah. I really liked the movie. I thought it was great. I remember standing up and because we watched it right when I got off work because we were going to record that day. So I was like, all right, I want to have it fresh on my mind. So, and I just remember standing up and being like, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was a great movie and it was fun and there wasn't an unenjoyable part of the entire feature. I thought at the time.
And I don't think you can ever go wrong with Michael Keaton.
You can't.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm not super well versed in the.
I love Michael
in the Keaton universe.
Guys, don't go chasing waterfalls.
Okay.
I don't know.
Really? Another one?
I've never really been like I fucking like Keaton is cool in the Batman movie and stuff like that, but that's really the only film that I kind of know.
So
him from.
I will give you a quintessential Michael Keaton movie to watch if you haven't seen it already. Multiplicity.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
I haven't seen it.
So
I'll check it out.
Good.
Anyways, I thought that he like really fucking sold this guy.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
he really sold Beetlejuice and like his like scummy nature. I just thought it was. That's like really my only problem I have with the movie as a whole is that there's just not enough of the guy in it. But I guess that's kind of its charm is like, hey, we're gonna leave you wanting more. Are there sequels of this movie?
There have been rumors upon rumors upon rumors.
There's even been fake trailers made
there are
for
fan
another one.
trailers, fan posters.
And
Like
there was a script for Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian, and it sounds like the most garbage. And it was like confirmed, like they were like, "We're making it." And
Yeah.
it was like,
I
Well,
would
by the way,
pay any amount of money to see that.
if you Google Tim Burton right now and go to his movies,
on his IMDb, there is
it's in there.
Yeah,
like it's. Let's see. There's Beetlejuice.
there is a placeholder for Beetlejuice 2.
That was the last movie that he
Yeah,
made
there it
was
is
the
right there.
Dumbo
So
movie.
Beetlejuice 2 with a fan made trailer or a fan made image as the poster. So take that
Wow.
for what you will, but
But really, the only
Take that with a grain of
successor
salt of the earth.
to the original movie is the
cartoon.
animation. Yeah.
you know who I think would be really awesome if they ever decided to choose a new Beetlejuice? Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I could see it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give him keep him with that crazy hair that he's got going on now for Cletus Cassidy.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think Bill Skarsgård would be a good Beetlejuice.
Oh,
Bill
yeah.
Skarsgård is he could do any creepy thing to like a great degree, but like I don't know, man. I still really like
Woody Harrelson.
no, well, Woody Harrelson, yes, but dude from oh fuck, what is it? We are the Millers. What's his name?
The kid?
Yeah.
He was
that's
in,
right. Yeah.
he was in Midsommar.
Will Poulter.
Wheaton.
Will Poulter.
Yeah, Will Poulter. I think Will Poulter would be so great.
Yeah.
Have you seen Midsommar yet? Derek?
No.
It's really good.
You should check that out. It's got him in it, and it puts him in like the most douchebag.
By the
role
way,
ever.
Yeah.
I remember you, Cole, mentioning when we were talking about like Hereditary and Midsummer because I hadn't seen it when you were bringing this up, and my friend Julie watched it, and she has 2 kids, and she fucking loved it.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Hereditary or
Hereditary. Yeah,
that's just such a circumstantial thing because
Yeah.
you never know. Like I have plenty of, I think someone like Eddie would be all right with it. Like the depictions that they have in there. I don't really know if it would be you. That's my only with Hereditary because there's some really, really gruesome.
Those
shit
2 would be
involving
cool to
children.
do something on.
Yeah, I would fucking adore a Hereditary episode.
just Ari Aster.
Yeah. Well, and then
episode
if it was Ari Aster, we'd have to watch that holy fucking I can't remember. It's something The Neighbors, and it's like really fucked up, and it's not a matter of like scary fucked up. It's a matter of like sexual fucked up, and I don't really know if I want to. I don't really know if I even want to watch that. Like that's my thing.
What is it?
It's just look up Ari Aster. It's like one of his first things that he did. It's about a black family. But I really love this movie. I thought it was really great. I think it to be honest, it's like up in the topper rankings of Tim Burton films.
It has so much charm.
The strange thing about the Johnsons.
The strange thing about the Johnsons.
That's right.
It's fucked up.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
Like it's dark, but it has so much charm and likability.
Yeah, and that's really hard to.
Well, and it's a
pull.
comedy too. It delivers the comedic essence really well.
Yeah, the jokes are very well placed. There aren't a lot of them. It really is a really great amalgamation, like I was saying, of darkness and charm, because you don't see that very much in anything that anybody tries to make, especially if they're pitching for that. Not like everybody hits the nail.
It has a lot to do with the era that it came out in too, because a lot of those movies were just kind of goofy and off the wall. If you tried to do something like that today, I mean, there's a niche group that would be all about it, but it wouldn't hit the mark like Beetlejuice would have in the 80s.
Exactly. This, like I said, this movie holds a very special place in my heart. I used to watch this movie.
You used to have a handbook of the deceased phone case.
I did.
Remember that?
I did. I used to have a handbook for the recently deceased phone case.
That's pretty cool.
It's in my top 5 movies of all time. I think this movie is a masterpiece. Like
It is.
So we reached out to you guys on social media and asked you what your favorite quotes were, what your favorite scenes were.
Showtime.
Johnny Ordaz says that his favorite line is the one where they ask him for his qualifications, and he's like, "I attended Juilliard. I'm a graduate of Harvard Business School. I traveled extensively. I've lived through the Black Plague. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. So what do you think?"
I love it's so great.
Right?
I just feel like it's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah,
With
well,
Keaton.
I mean,
like it's like.
I love how he ramps up over himself each time. He just gets more and more excited about it. It's so great.
That would pose an interesting idea for like something, maybe not a movie, but like about like who was he?
Like a prequel.
Yeah.
That'd be rad. I would be on board with that.
Because he very well could have done all of those things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Robbie McMillan said that his favorite quote is "It's showtime."
Classic one.
Brandon Rogers, a nice fucking model.
I love how just deadpan Lane's a nice fucking model.
Well, and he grabs his crotch.
And it was like shocking too, because there's the crotch grab, and I was like, well, what the fuck?
I remember being a kid, like I was playing with like toys and stuff, and I would recreate that. And like I would be Beetlejuice going, "Nice fucking model," and like
of course
I got your fucking model.
Fucking big.
Justin Peterson, Weird Sense says, "Go ahead, make my millennium." Kayla Juranek says, "I myself am strange and unusual." My favorite is the one that Johnny says. That little like itty bitty piece is just one of those, like it's like you said, lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Cool. It was just perfect. What were yours?
I gotta say, it's the one where he's talking about the exorcism. I just thought I was just like, what the fuck? Because
I've seen The Exorcist.
Well, that movie is so fucked.
Yeah,
like it's such a fucked up movie. And for him, I know it's hammy and it's a joke, but I still remember thinking.
I know how like
in the delivery of him saying.
I think I saw that movie.
It's funny that he says that it's funny because if you watch it now, it still holds up, but like not super well, and just like the amount of not CGI, what's it called?
Practical effects.
Practical effects that they use. They look really funny today, and so I remember watching The Exorcist recently and laughing.
Yeah.
See, because I saw that movie for the first time too late, because I saw it when I was in high school, and I was like, what? I mean, I get the horror aspect, like, and I was like, when this movie came out, it was probably just like, this was released, like somebody made this movie.
Yeah, and that's the way that I look at it too. Is like, it's not necessarily like the demon aspect of it. It's like that scares the hell out of me. It's like the idea that it's like this Catholic priest that's like having a hard time dealing with life as it is.
And I watched Rosemary's Baby.
And then you watch Scary Movie, and you watch them piss on the carpet, and the parents just smack the shit out of her with a newspaper.
And they start rapping mystical.
Yeah.
I just really love that quote because like the delivery on the second half of that joke where it's like, and it gets funnier every time I see it. I just love like the charm in that. Yeah, I love it a lot, to be honest.
See, I like when he tells Lydia, "I'm the ghost with the most, babe."
Yeah.
Because for me, like, just especially because that's one of the main lines that they use ad nauseum in the cartoon.
They do.
You know, that's just one of the things that they constantly come back to is the ghost with the most.
Yeah.
And so
that's the only appropriate
yeah, right?
line that they could have used.
If you think about it, isn't the animated series almost kind of like a sequel in a sense? Because like they're like, you know, like hanging out together.
It's Lydia and Beetlejuice's best pals.
Yeah.
The adventures of.
Yeah, mine would have to just be the are you guys Night of the Living Dead under there?
Yeah.
It was like a, you know, horror movie callback to one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
And it was cool because in that moment, of course, Adam and Barbara don't know that because they don't watch TV. They don't do that, so they were like, Night of the what? What are you talking about? Well,
Night of the Living who?
Yeah, but you're like, Night of the Living
you
Dead,
country
don't you
bumpkin assholes.
Yeah, right. Like, you don't fucking know.
And then Lydia's like, okay, boomer.
Yeah.
I didn't really have like one standout line. Like, there were a bunch of one-liners that like just all in all were like great, but
maybe like a favorite scene.
Probably the ending scene when Lydia comes home and the couple are basically her family now, and her dad and stepmom are like, oh, it sounds like she got an A on her chemistry test.
And it's like they're a family.
Yeah, and it's very cute, very sweet, and she's not like her angsty goth self. She's, you know, what seems to be a Catholic schoolgirl. And then also Beetlejuice in the waiting room at the case worker place in the afterlife, obviously, and he's feeling up on Tim Burton's girlfriend's legs.
Well, and I forgot about that too. Like, her getting an A, like, that was the reward, was she got to do the Deo thing.
Yeah, she did the dance. I was going to mention
jump
the
in the
dance
line.
at the end.
Oh, jump in the line. That's what it was. Yeah. Oh, shit. I'm out.
Okay,
I
believe you.
And she's like floating in the air, and like the football players come out. And
they're doing their little...
What did she say? That was another favorite scene of mine, and I can't remember, is when the football player comes in and is like,
I don't think we made it.
Yeah, I fucking love that part.
Oh, you think? That was a good scene. Yeah, that I mean, like I've said, you know, already a couple of times, this movie is so near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I'll watch this movie once a year. Cole, like you say, you have your things that you watch once a year.
Yep.
Beetlejuice is right up there with Back to the Future and Karate Kid for me to watch once a year. Even, you know, especially
with movies, I feel like you gotta watch them at least more than once a year. Like beloved movies for me, like A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw A New Hope on to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
Like, just, and I love doing that because it's like comfort.
Yeah, I'll pull up some Back to the Future or some Office. Or, you know.
I can't fall asleep to like movies because no matter how many, I'll just like want to watch them. Like, oh,
I can do that sometimes.
So
with
I
TV
usually
shows,
throw on like
not movies,
and I probably like all of my Netflix recommendations I've like seen already because it's like my entire watch again is just like stand up comedy because I just put that on and I fall asleep.
That fucking... Have you seen that Don't Fuck With Cats yet?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Holy shit.
That was
Well, what's
insane.
so crazy is we started watching it and I was like, all right, we gotta fucking watch it. Because everybody's talking about it. And I was like, all right, let's fucking get it over with. And I thought it was a movie, but no, it's a 3-part series. And then it, like... I thought I was just getting into this documentary about how they were tracking this fucking guy down. No, it's about Luca Magnotta.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I remember I listened to a crime podcast, and he was one of the murders that they covered, and I just remember thinking like, holy fuck, it's about Luca Magnotta. Oh fuck! Like I don't want to fucking think about this guy any more than I already do. But like,
dude, I actually after I watched that, I went onto Facebook and I found the original group and like saw all of the messages that all these people were leaving, and I'm just like, oh my god, dude, it's what's his name, John Green.
Yeah, it's John Green.
I fucking hate the end of that though. The end of the documentary.
I was only able to watch the first episode.
It's rough, bro. Like
it's good. After the first episode, it gets really good. The first episode is really sad and really gross, but after that, it gets really, really good.
I hated the end of that documentary though, because
is it your fault?
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I know. And
turn
I'm like,
off the TV.
Shut up, Bonnie.
Yeah,
well, yeah. She's just like sitting there, like pandering, like like we gave. I'm like they say she's saying something about how like we provoked this, like because he wanted to.
Are we responsible
we kept
for the death
feeding
of
the
those
troll.
cats, the dog, and the guy?
The guy, like, and we provoked this, and then she like looked to it, and she's like, and you, and she like fucking unprovoked, like turns to the camera, and she's like, and you, dear viewer, you just binged this entire series. Are you part of the problem? I'm like, no, bitch, I didn't feed the troll. I'm just
I didn't
for my
spend
Netflix
years of my life
subscription.
tracking some dude. That was all you.
Yeah. So, fuck you, body. Fuck
Body
you.
moving.
Body moving.
Well, that was a tangent. Anyways,
It's good shit.
that concludes our episode on Beetlejuice. We hope you love it just as much as we do, and if you haven't watched it, please do. It is a great, great movie. As always, you can follow us on social media.
On Facebook at the Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram at Nerdcore Podcast.
Or you can shoot us an email at nerdcorppodcast@gmail.com.
And if you want to support our caffeine addiction, head to our Patreon.
That's right. Patreon.com/Nerdcourt Podcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to extra episodes and hidden content. If you can't make a monthly contribution, consider donating to our PayPal, paypal.me/Nerdcourt Podcast. We want to have the best loot, the best giveaways, and the best merch for you, and that is the best way to help us do that.
And the time of the interview is creeping ever closer.
Carrie Means, Frylock. You guys are going to get a special interview from us with Carrie Means. We've also got another interview with Manny Lemons coming. He talks about opening his wrestling academy, DCW's first anniversary, and having Vince Russo, the creator of the Attitude Era, on as a sole work. Like he's only working with DCW.
Renee's father.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When you said Carrie Means and we started talking about Aqua Teen Hunger Force, we have an Apple TV and there's an app on there for Adult Swim, and they have all of Aqua Teen Hunger Force on there for free.
Nice.
So I'm laying in bed.
So you can
you can do it off of your phone.
Yeah.
I'm
stream
laying
it to
in
your
bed. I'm
PlayStation.
replaying Final Fantasy VII because fucking of course I am. And I'm sitting there and playing that, and I'm watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force in my bed, and I'm like, holy fuck, it's 2003 again. It felt fucking great.
I mean, Aqua Teen Hunger Force was one of my absolute favorites, along with like
It's fucking
Space Ghost Coast to Coast, Harvey Birdman, like all that shit.
It's fucking infinitely watchable.
Oh, it is. It's so,
like watching a train wreck in some.
What happened to my friggin' car?
Yeah.
It's so funny and stupid and pointless and beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you
It's
know
just
what Carl's last name is?
What?
It's like Butana Wanikowski.
Oh shit.
Like Some weird.
I just love
Jersey
like
name.
it's like infinitely charming as well. Like
Yeah.
there's so much about it that we got to do a fucking episode on that.
I
Just
think
Adult
it's
Swim.
stupid.
Yeah, Angela fucking hates
That's what we should do. We should put the interview on an episode, and then like after that, we'll just do an Aqua Teen episode.
Mm-hmm. I'm down with
I'm
that.
fucking so down.
You know what else I would like to do an episode on? I was thinking about it earlier. Hold on, let me try and remember what it was.
Hurry. Remember. Think. Brain.
I think
Hurry.
it's too late.
Oh.
I'll remember it later.
God damn
I'll remember it later.
God damn it, Derek.
Thank you once again. And for the Nerd Corporation, my name is Eddie Lyon.
I'm Cole Simper.
I'm Tepid Nudes.
And I'm Nick Lewis.
And I'm Angela Wooden.
I was going to have the goodbye.
Angela Wooden.